Milk powder is definitely a darling of the home baker. It's been available for the professional baker for decades, and it does a lot of things. It's been used in ice cream making. It adds bulk, it does all the things that butter and cream does without all the water. It is great for softening yeast doughs, and I love it in certain cookies. But unless you understand what lives inside milk powder, you cannot just use it in an unscaled amount across the board without any considerations. Non-fat dry milk powder that is available in the grocery store is a little bit different than the stuff in the bake shop. It is pasteurized to a lower temp. It's a finer grain, so it dissolves a little bit easier. Milk powder only has 4% water. That isn't very much. No fat in it. A lot of dried solids. These solids are everything from proteins, sugars, like lactose. These dried bits are really thirsty. So if you are going to substitute and or enrich any batter or dough, you're going to have to add moisture in some way to offset how much this is going to drink. This will become the bully in the bowl, more so than sugar, which is hygroscopic. It wants water. You're gonna fight with the flour, who also wants water. And the way to mitigate it is to know what you're losing, specifically in grams or percentages, to then replace it exactly. These ingredients are not going to bend to what you want them to do. They are going to react to what you do to them. When I offer you ideas about how products work, what's inside of them, I'm doing that from primary sources. I look to ingredient function books, textbooks, and to manufacturer websites that tell me the facts so then I can respond to those facts. Ingredients won't do what I want them to do. They're gonna do what they wanna do. And so I wanna learn what they wanna do, and then I wanna work with them. So if you start out with a critical eye, reading a recipe thinking, what kind of ingredients are in here? What lives inside those ingredients? What are the ratios? How do they work against each other? What am I going to add or throw in at the last minute to throw the whole thing off? These are all questions you have to ask yourself. It's fun, and there's no right or wrong answer. I am not saying you have to do anything any one way. So if you hear blanketed statements and hacks and tricks, just think a little bit about how it's going to affect your outcome and if it's something that you can buy into, because there is no one answer to all of the baking problems or issues. There is only critical thinking, analyzing what's happened, and then approaching it differently next time. So I would love to say that there's one way to do things and that I could give you the miracle answer to how to be a perfect baker across the board, but I can't. But I can certainly teach you how to think like an ingredient so that you can begin to break down all the things you love about how you bake and all the things that you are trying to overcome in your baking. It's not about knowing everything about baking. It's about being open to learning and discovering, and to knowing that there are many, many nuances that do not come down to one blanketed answer.